Record prediction for Colorado. Their over-under win total is set at 6.5. Very tricky team to assess here in 2025. I think in some respects you could say they are the trickiest team to assess in 2025 because Shadour's gone, Travis Hunter's gone, other weapons on the offense are gone. But I do think that this is the next phase for Deion Sanders, and I think the overall floor of the roster talent, as we've said many times, I think the floor is at a higher place. Now, what does that mean when it comes to wins and losses? We'll unpack in a second. But this is the season where I think we get to get a better, what's the right word? This season is going to accentuate the chops as a coach for Deion Sanders because you lost your quarterback to the draft. You lost your Heisman Trophy winner. What can you do to adapt building your roster? What can you do from a game plan perspective to adapt on a week-in to week-out basis? Best coaches in the sport, they find a way to adapt. Deion Sanders went from 4 wins to 9 wins. He's clearly been able to adapt his roster. Can you do it again when you lose so much talent from what last year was? But hear me before we jump into the record prediction. The prime era at Colorado is already a success. Like, it's a polarizing figure is Deion Sanders because he says what's on his mind, operates differently to his own drum on the recruiting trail, uses the portal, whatever. People have strong opinions around Deion Sanders. But even in the midst of all the different opinions of it's not going to work or he's the greatest coach in college football, what he's done at Colorado is already a success. To go from 1 win before he got there to then being a 9-win team last year competing for in the Big 12 title race in the month of November, like he's already made Colorado relevant, competitive. It's a success. So record prediction for me when it comes to Colorado, I think the game against Georgia Tech to start the year worries me a little bit. Georgia Tech has more continuity. They bring back their quarterback in Haynes King. Their run game will be dynamic with Jamal Haynes toting the rock. I think Caden Salter starts for you, but I think it might take a second to get rolling for Colorado in 2025. So I think you drop that game. You beat Delaware, get on the road and beat Houston, beat Wyoming. Okay, we're rolling now. First game of the Big 12 season for Colorado. You'll play BYU. BYU's going to be ranked probably, top 15 to start the year. Who knows where they are when you play them. But I don't know a lot about BYU right now, y'all. Don't know who's playing quarterback. They got to come to you. I think at that point, Colorado's got some momentum from the past 3 games. They get a win. They beat BYU. Go to TCU. Now, I like TCU a lot this year. They bring back 64% production from last year's offense. Josh Hoover is a dog. Had a chance to go a couple other places, I think, this past offseason via the portal. Decided to stay at TCU. They'll be really good, will TCU. I think you drop that game with it being in Fort Worth. You play Iowa State. I think you also drop that game, which is the Matt Campbell of it all. They'll be tough. They'll be physical. They'll be a little bit frisky. I think you lose that game. And then I think you also lose the game at Utah. So you're a Colorado fan. You're saying, JD, you just told us we're going to be better. You just listed off 4 losses. What are we doing here? You tell us we're going to lose to Georgia Tech, losing to TCU, losing to Iowa State, and we're going to somehow, some way lose at Utah? What's 8-4, JD? I hear you. Just hang on. A win over Arizona, mojo. A win at West Virginia, mojo. You go to Arizona State. Now, this is going to be a tricky one because Arizona State is going to be picked to win the Big 12 by, I think, everyone pretty much. I guess I'm not doing the media poll. Everyone in the media world will pick Arizona State to win the Big 12. You get them off a bye, and you get them after you've won 2 games against Arizona and a game in Morgantown. I think you beat ASU. I can't explain it. The Big 12 is nuts. I have no real logic behind this pick besides saying I think you beat Arizona State based on momentum, based on getting the bye, and the fact that they got to come to you late in the season. And then you go to Kansas State. All right, now Kansas State, I love me some Avery Johnson. Love Avery Johnson. But last year, you had Kansas State on the ropes, man. In Boulder. Probably should have beat Kansas State if Travis Hunter plays and stays healthy and all those things. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that the defense is improved from what it was last year and you don't get run on like you did last year with DJ Giddens. Was a problem last year. I think that you actually win that game as well. So your 4 losses are to TCU, Iowa State, Georgia Tech, and Utah. Georgia Tech started the year, so we're out of order there, but you catch my drift. I think that those are your 4 losses. Now, 8-4 with those wins, I think is a better overall Colorado team. But if you're watching this show, you're like, JD, I've heard you say Colorado will be just as good as they were last year, if not better. I'm not backing down from that statement. Just because you have one extra loss on the resume, the overall product of football, I think, will be better. I think you'll see a more physical team. I think you'll see a team that is continuing to take on the identity that Deion Sanders wants them to have. I think that they'll have that extra loss during the regular season, but they could still finish 9-4 with a bowl win, which is what they were this past year. You just swap out the bowl loss for one of those regular season losses. So Colorado, go ahead and cash the over. Got them 8-4 with some very solid wins over Arizona State and over Kansas State to finish the year. So Deion's got the boys finishing the year strong. All the way here for that.